Hi guys, so happy to be here. I think I'm gonna be able to show our pictures on the best screen so far. So I'm David, co-founder of VePa Vertical Parking, and first let's have a look at our cities today. As you can see, a lot of private cars, a lot of private vehicles on the road, and also if charging happens, it happens on street in the public sector, and yeah, this is a huge problem. And we believe that we as VePa Mobility, we can make cities look like this. Less private cars, we can store and charge mobility in our towers, and I want to show you why we want to do this. We identified 3 reasons for that. The first is the traffic. There's too much traffic in our cities, which comes from too many cars and not enough roads. Second is the infrastructure. It's too narrow for this amount of traffic. And the third is the emissions. We're talking about climate goals and reducing CO2 emissions, but mobility makes up to 25% of all emissions worldwide, and this is a huge problem. And traffic, for example, needs 3 days of each year we spend in our cars just stuck in traffic, and I think that's way too much. The second point is here that the car which is parked stands 23 hours every day just being parked, not being moved, not being used. It's just a use of space, a waste of resources. And the third one is the lack of charging infrastructure. We need 40,000 charging points alone in Munich this year. This is from the beginning of the year, and so far they built 12,000. So there's a huge gap which we want to fill. So we said together, let's redesign urban space. And that's why we created and built this product. It's a vertical parking tower. It has a footprint of 35 square meters, and we can store 12 or 16 cars in this tower. It's modular and pre-manufactured. This helps us to build it quickly in just 5 days, and we're also able to build it back once the cars are not much needed anymore. We have the TÜV certificates. We're working with a partner, which I'll show to you later, and also have a TÜV certificate. And all the things like noise and access times, this is all solved so far. But much more interesting is what happens inside of the tower. So we have charging infrastructure on each platform. So we can charge 12 kinds of mobility at the same time. We have a digital booking app, so when you need your car or your share of mobility, you can just click on the app, it rotates down, you grab it, and you go. And it's stored on the space. And we have the shared and micromobility. As you can see, we have cargo bikes, we have scooters, we have private cars, but also shared cars, all in our towers. Later in this pitches, you will hear about a delivery robot or a small microcar. This could also be integrated in our towers. So we are really a platform for future mobility to store and charge it. And of course, we have 400 square meters of facade because it's a tower. And what can we do with it? Of course, you can have advertisements, so you generate revenue streams. But much more interesting, you can create energy. On the south side, you have 100 square meters of PV modules, which give you a lot of new energy. And you can have also the rest of it fully green, so we have a better microclimate in our cities. And I think this is really important and very functional outside, but also inside. Our value adds are we unseal surface. So one tower unseals 130 square meters of space, which can be used for other projects. We are sustainable. A parking space in our tower is 98% less CO2 compared to an underground garage. And I told you we can even build it back, so I think that's great. And the third point is the flexibility, multimodality. So we don't have a long building time. We can build it back when we don't need it anymore. And I think this is what our cities really need. We as a company are a little bit older than 1 year now. Last year, we spent on product development. We won some prizes, luckily, and are now ready to work with our manufacturer. This year, we will build the first towers. I will show you also where in Berlin our first tower will be built, but the first one will be built in November in Munich. And then we want to become the leading charging mobility platform in Europe. This is our traction. So one in Berlin, one in Munich will be the first project this year, and then we roll out. This is all the signed projects we have so far in Germany. And of course, we cannot do this alone, and I think our biggest strength is our partnerships. So we have a manufacturer who is in the middle of Germany, who have a lot of experience in similar products, and they do the engineering and the manufacturing, but we develop the product. And on the other side, we have a construction company who's also a minority investor at VePa, and they are a leading company in lean construction and modular buildings. So I think this is really good for operations. So we get the product, we can have the operations, and the service in between, we will take care of that. And of course, we are part of the Unternehmertum network, and the EIT Urban Mobility is also an investor of us, so we can also scale globally. So to sum it up again and tell you a little bit about our business model, today we create this space-efficient, sustainable, and flexible parking space. It's a transactional business, but once we get over this step, it's going to be very interesting, because then we build this urban mobility hubs where we have car sharing, micromobility, charging, and logistics all in our towers, and we will be operating them, and the commodities just come in, and we get the building permits. And as the end of my presentation, this is a place in Berlin. It's at Platz der Vereinten Nationen, and we are en route to get the building permit there. It looks really, really good so far, and we will build one tower in the beginning there. And what we do there is, this is a huge parking space. A lot of cars are on the overground. We put them in our towers, and we have a lot of space, green space, gardens, playgrounds for the people living in this huge building you can see in the background. And I think this is great, and we're very happy that our partners want to do this pilot project with us, and are looking forward to that. I'm almost out of time, which is good because I'm already finished. So thank you very much for your attention. And maybe other questions? I don't know. I'm happy to get any. Thank you.